Life without multiverses. Day 21. I've been going through my Steam library, looking for an escape from the wait. An escape from Multiversus purgatory. Even the best of alternatives aren't pulling me in like they used to, no matter how good they might be. I've even resorted to drastic measures. Day in and day out, it's on my mind. While I work, while I do chores, even while I sleep. I have a multiversus-shaped hole in my heart that can't be filled until July. There's another showcase on the 21st. Maybe we'll get some real news then. But until then, I drag myself out of bed, get through my day, check the Reddit, check Tony's Twitter, and go to sleep. So I'm here to bring a wish list. 20 characters that I think would make great additions to the game, and not a single one of them have been in any of the data mines and leaks. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into it. Osmosis Jones is one of those characters I feel like is kind of forgotten about in the modern age. Maybe it's because the movie bombed in the box office, or maybe it's because it had iffy live-action sections. But regardless, I think the white blood cell voiced by Chris Rock could make for a fun and interesting character in Multiversus. Who knows, maybe he could even make a reference to the Oscars incident.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of it.
Gossamer is one of those Looney Tunes characters who hasn't often been in the spotlight. Originating as a henchman to Dr. Moron, this menacing monster made of hair would make a great addition to Multiversus, and he even has some cool skins in the game Looney Tunes World of Mayhem the dev team could pull some inspiration from. Westworld is an iconic HBO original series that has an extremely interesting premise about sentience and what it means to be alive. And the antagonist of the show, the Man in Black, would make for a killer addition to Multiversus as one of the live-action representatives for the game. Tom is a character that nobody's really seen much of. Most of his appearances are just him walking through his spaceship and sitting down in a chair, but that doesn't take away from how iconic he is. Seeing Tom on screen before bedtime meant you were about to see some real shit. Whether it was Samurai Jack, Powerpuff Girls, Batman Beyond, or any anime that made it over to a Western audience, Tom was the one who would lead you there and let you know it was about to go down, and I would love to see him in the game. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends is full of lovable characters, so it was hard for me to pick one for this list, but I think Wilt, the one-armed superstar, would make for a really interesting fighter. In the show, he's definitely not the guy you would think of when it comes to throwing hands, but even super friendly yes men have their limits, and Wilt has definitely hit that tipping point a couple times because of Blue. And who knows, maybe there will be another basketball icon that Will could riff off of in the future. Xavier Renegade Angel is one of the shows of all time. A lot of poorly aged jokes and almost entirely absurdist humor, but still has some of the funniest scenes to ever air on Adult Swim. Xavier is a self-absorbed, dude who oftentimes brings nothing but pain to those around him as he tries to right the things he thinks are wrong, no matter how delusional his thought process or actions may be. His self-proclaimed purpose of existing is to help others and quote-unquote do good, and while he may fail on that front, there's no denying he would make an interesting addition to the game, for better or for worse. Aku, the shape-shifting demon born from the black mass of darkness and the arch-nemesis to Samurai Jack. I think Aku would make a fantastic addition to the roster, with his ability to shapeshift, shoot lasers from his eyes, and his overall power level and multitude of abilities could make for a dynamic moveset reflective of the character, and in my opinion, a great fit for the Multiversus roster. Beast Boy is another one of those shape-shifting characters who no doubt has near unlimited potential for a moveset in a platform fighter like Multiversus. With different versions of the character from Justice League to Teen Titans Go, Beast Boy not only has potential for a great moveset, but for funny quips, snappy one-liners, and alternate costumes. Alongside other DC characters, I think Beast Boy would be right at home in Multiversus. A newer show that's received a lot of love and attention, Smiling Friends, is a hilarious and absurd show featuring two main characters, Charlie and Pim. And while violence isn't necessarily their forte, they're certainly no stranger to it. I can only imagine the funny shit Psychic Pebbles and Michael Cusack would say in the booth recording lines if they were to make it into the game. And I'm definitely not alone on wanting them to be in it either. Just imagine the announcer pack. Anyone that's a fan of Aqua Teen Hunger Force is a fan of Meatwad. The lovable clump of meat is another one of those shape-shifting characters who can do or become any number of things, making for a character with an insane amount of moveset potential. Plus, just imagining him interacting with other characters on the roster is enough to get a laugh out of me. And even just thinking about somebody being like, oh, I'm the top Meatwad player in North America, I think that's pretty funny as well. Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, the man with the cybernetic shell, is another character who I think would make an excellent addition to the roster. With all kinds of weapons and upgrades along with physical strength to boot, Cyborg is an easy fit to the potential cast of characters to join Multiversus. And like I mentioned with Beast Boy, there's all kinds of different versions of Cyborg to pull inspiration from. Scribblenauts is one of those games where you can just kick back, relax, and have a good time with it. And Maxwell is one of those characters that literally has unlimited potential. With his magic notebook, he could summon anything from weapons to bodyguards and deities to altering his or anyone else's abilities by changing their adjectives. With his entire family as potential for skins and, like I mentioned before, limitless moveset potential, Maxwell would make for an awesome addition to Multiversus. The Lich. Beyond power and with only one motive: to eradicate all life in the multiverse. A character with tons of appearances to pull a moveset, skins, and alternate costumes from, following Finn into Multiversus would only make sense. And I would love to see how other characters interact with the Lich as well. The Lich is inevitable. Schnitzel is a man of few words, but he sure can get the job done. Any job. Literally most of his character in the show is doing the heavy lifting and dirty work for Master Chef Mung Dal. He's shown to have incredible strength, as well as a few flashbacks where he was competent with a bologna sword, and he would be a really fun addition to the roster, or should I say, Rada-ster. Mob Psycho 100 is a show I see a lot of love for, and for good reason. The show is beautifully animated, the story is engaging, and the main character, Shigeo Kageyama, aka Mob, is just trying to fit in and live a normal life, but has incredible psychic powers he's constantly trying to suppress alongside his emotions. And when his emotions become too much to bear, there isn't anyone out there who can handle what he can throw at them. I can definitely see Mob being a strong support/mage character and would love to see his interactions with the other characters. Another character from Adventure Time, albeit more of a minor role, the Gravedigger Starchy. This cute little chocolate malt ball would make for a very fun, lighthearted addition to the roster, and even if his life has its fair share of hardship, his upbeat, can-do attitude would be much appreciated, and I would love to see what Player First Games would do to make him into a character. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy is another one of my childhood favorites, and the Harbinger of Death himself is a character I would love to see fighting the likes of Bugs Bunny and Jake the Dog. With an insane amount of move potential and a variety of outfits to use as skins, I think Grim is a no-brainer for Multiversus. Kujo Jotaro, the most popular of the Joestars and a fierce fighter with the help of his stand Star Platinum. Honestly, several of the JoJos could make for an excellent fighter in Multiversus, but I just happen to think that Jotaro would make the most sense as he is one of, if not the most iconic of the bunch. With tons of different styles from different chapters of the manga and anime, he already has a variety of alternate costumes ready to use as well. Ed, Edd and Eddy was one of my favorite shows as a kid, and I think the Ed Boys would make for an excellent trio-style character. Perhaps something like a direction associated with each Ed, a swap-out mechanic, or all three in tandem just swinging for the fences. Any way they could be added, I would 100% trust Player First Games to make these three come to life and really show off their personality. The Regular Show is another one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, and Mordecai and Rigby would be excellent additions to Multiversus. They've done everything from the mundane of janitor duty to fighting literal gods, and they would be right at home alongside the rest of the cast in Multiversus. Whether as a duo or as individual characters, there's a lot of room for these two on the roster, and a lot of potential for them as characters. Even the lead developer Tony Wynn has them high up on his wish list. Marceline the Vampire Queen is one of my favorite characters from Adventure Time. Cool powers, a simple design, and a complex backstory. Living for over 1,000 years, Marceline has few things she hasn't experienced. And of those things, I think battling it out with Batman and Velma alongside Finn and Jake is something she would have a lot of fun with. She has tons of unique abilities and a whole wardrobe to choose from when it comes to alternate costumes, and I think she would make an excellent addition to Multiversus. Real quick before we get into this final character on the wish list, I just want to say that these kind of videos take a lot of effort to make, so if you're still watching at this point, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like button and subscribe button. It would really help me out a lot, and it would really mean the world to me. Whenever the open beta comes out in July, I plan on making a whole lot more content, everything from casual stuff to competitive stuff, and I would like to bring you guys along on my Multiversus journey. Anyways, back to the video. Psychonauts is my favorite game of all time. A wonderfully written game about mental health struggles and how different people deal with them or succumb to the pressures of them and the kind of damage that they can cause. The main character, Rasputin Aquato, aka Raz, is a character more than deserving of a spot in this game. With all kinds of psychic abilities to work with between Psychonauts and its sequel, it would literally be a dream come true to be able to play as him in a game as fun and as polished as Multiversus. And besides, who doesn't want to hear Richard Stephen Horvitz's voice?
This is from all the members from the Coochie Gang. Coochie.
And that's going to wrap up my Multiversus wish list. Let me know what you think of my list down below, and let me know any characters you want to see added to the game in the future. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.